Lucas said he wanted to hear the song, so we'll do Peoria along. The present mayor of Peoria lives in a 5 and 10 cent Storia. Oh, how I wish I were in Peoria, Peoria tonight. Oh, how I wish I were in Peoria, Peoria tonight. Oh, how I miss the girls in Peoria, Peoria tonight. The present mayor of Peoria lives in a 5 and 10 cent Storia. Oh, how I wish I were in Peoria, Peoria tonight. By the window, like the Jessica Horn song, this one, The Age, way back before Rock Hudson. I would never make fun of any dirty song. I just did these songs. Now, I wrote a song. Too bad I haven't got all the words here. Now, I did not write this song for any dirty context. But in the days of the 20s and 10s, you could take it two ways. Now, I don't know the words of this. I wrote this when, at the same time I wrote the Jessica Horn song, and I wrote this with Donna Rice. Now it goes, believe me, it goes something like this.
You wrote it with her?
No, I mean for
For her, okay.
I'm in a great respect. I have a great respect for this beautiful woman.
Okay.
So this is the way the song came out. Don't take it wrong now. Donna Rice's pussycat, Donna Rice's pussy. I'm crazy over Donna Rice's pussycat. I want the world to know wherever I may go. I'm crazy over Donna Rice's pussycat. Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 meow. Come and drink your milk, meow. Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come and drink your milk. I want the world to know wherever I may go. I'm crazy over Donna Rice's pussycat. If Gary Hart does great in 1988, and soon our president he will be, to the White House we will come again, we three, yes. Donna Rice, Gary Hart, me, and Donna Rice's pussycat. Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 come and drink your milk, meow. Here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 meow. Come and drink your milk. Why, I want the world to know wherever I may go. I'm crazy over Donna Rice's pussycat. That's why I don't write songs. This
Great. Funny, man. Total hook, you know?
Yeah, but you know, kill me for this. No, you know what I mean? I'll be banned in the business. She'll go and run away. You know, but
Keep it under our collars.
Huh?
Keep it under our hats.
Yeah, but you know, this is what I wrote. Well, same with Jessica Hahn. You got that on today, the Jessica Hahn?
I didn't get the Jessica Hahn ones or the Santa Claus one. We can get them later or now.
Oh, right, we'll do it now before,
all right, great.
Before we even get out of here.
Okay.
I'm scooting out of time. She left me with the herpes. Now why did she do that? Last night I sat upon a chair and gave it to the cat. The cat gave it to Rover and to the mousey too. The mousey gave it to the bird. I don't know what to do. Her mother says her daughter is a nice girl and refined. It must have been another girl, certainly not mine. But darling, that was wrong. Sue's the only girl I knew. Since Roosevelt won the election in 1932. She left me with the herpes. Even roaches don't come near. Mosquitoes will not bite me cause they sense my blood's not clear. My chambermaid is suing and taking me to court. She cleaned my room and later on, you know what she caught. I left her with the herpes like it was left for me. There are many listening to this song who have it now, you see. The only strong advice I give is take a book to bed and let her take a blood test every day that you are wed. She left me with the herpes. I don't know what to do. My life's a social wreck. If someone out there can come out with a cure, I'll be the very first online, and that you can be sure. She left me with the herpes like it was left for me. And there are many listening to this song who have it now, you see. The only strong advice I take is take a book to bed and let her take a blood test every day that you are wed. She left me with the herpes. Santa Claus has got the AIDS this year, and he won't be round to spread his Christmas cheer. The reindeer all of blue, they know what he's going through. Santa Claus has got the AIDS this year. He won't be yelling out, ho, 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 but he'll be screaming out, no, 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 no. The nurses all look sad, cause Santa's got it bad. Santa Claus has got the AIDS this year. Oh no, it is Santa Claus. I won't be around this year. I got the AIDS, but I'll be back next year. 12 months to wait and then he'll soon be round again. But Santa Claus has got the AIDS this year. Here's the
That's great.
here's the one I wrote to Jessica Hahn. Jessica Hahn, I bless the day you were born. I'd love to get caught in a storm with Jessica Hahn. Ah, Jessica Hahn, you're an angel from the day you were born. Jessica Hahn. Jim Baker came into your room, who knows where or when. But when he left your loving arms, he sure was born again. Why, Jessica Hahn, I'd love to get caught in a storm. I bless the day you were born. Jessica Hahn. One last thing, and I'll let you go. I've got to roll there. Here's my song for Vanna White. Oh, Vanna, I'll take you to Havana. Oh, Vanna, if you will be my girl. Oh, Vanna, it's not Marie or Hannah, but oh, Vanna, you're my precious pearl. Mr. Merv Griffin, we thank you. You know talent from afar. You made Vanna White a star. Oh, Vanna, it's not Marie or Hannah, but oh, Vanna, you're the girl for me. Ever since I saw you in Playboy, you make my you-know-what get very, very hot. Oh, Vanna, it's not Marie or Hannah, but oh, Vanna, you're the one for me. Oh, Vanna.
All right, yeah.
I don't know.
Send out the Wheel of Fortune. Send out the Wheel of Fortune.
They'll send us back the wheel. That's why I don't write these songs. And I tell you,
I think they're great, man. Total underground vaudeville type stuff. I love it.
Yeah, huh?
You got your own dirty song.
Well, but I don't consider them, you know. But,
sinner.
No,
It's the
I
world's
don't mean
biggest sinner.
dirty.
Yeah,
I don't mean dirty,
Well,
dirty.
I
I mean, you know.
I'm going to give you a song that'll really blow your mind.
Well, let's get one of those later.
It doesn't bother me from the outside.
You know what? I'm sorry. Tiny Tim interview, July 18th, 1989. Tiny, the audiences that you used to play to when you were first getting big and all the blah, blah, still react the same. You say yes, right?
The answer is yes. I mean, the only difference, 20 years has gone by and so many things have taken place, so they're sort of used to the look. And they're used to the look right now, but when it comes to the same old story about hair, and, you know, the whole personality of that, the answer is yes, they still take me the same way.
Huh. So do you enjoy singing music and playing to audiences as much as you did then? Or has any of it died at all? Or do you still totally get into it, or is there a difference as you age? Or
if they like the show, if the song is going well, I can't tell you that it's a great thrill. But there is a little more of a pressure because I don't have the financial money to do what I want, to make records and have bands, and so as long as shows go over, I'm happy, and I'm not complaining. It's just that I wish I had the financial end to do what I want, you know, instead of doing what they want.
right, I hear that. I'd like to ask you if you have any current musicians or bands that are out today, or any types of styles that you're any particular favorites that you have any interest in.
To tell you the truth, Mr. Clown, I'm just starting. It's been hard for me to hear today's top 10 because they don't have what they had in the 40s. They don't have machines where you can play just the number one hit, the number two hit. You've got to get a cassette to hear one top song, and next week another song comes out from another artist, and they got 8 songs in their cassette, and the top hit is always camouflaged with 8 other bombs. And this has stopped me from getting to the top 10. Now I just got a cassette by the Young Cannibals, and I haven't even heard it yet because I have no cassette player, just to keep up with the top 10. So I couldn't honestly answer your question directly. But last year, when I had some spare time, I did listen to complete cassettes over and over again of Richard Marx, of Michael Jackson Bad. I heard...
Madonna? Madonna?
I've never yet heard a complete cassette. But I can say that today's music is compared to painting. There's a difference between modern art and the Van Gogh and Picasso paintings. And there's a difference between the music of the 20s and 10s and 40s even, as there is with heavy metal in today's music. Today's music I consider as modern art. It is very difficult to sing a lot of these songs unless you put yourself in the position of today's sounds. For instance, if just for a snip, if I were to do something like, smile a while, you kiss me, sad you, when the clouds roll by, I'll come to you, which was sung, of course, as you so wisely told me, by Richard Whiting, who was born here. And if I do something like this now, because I'm bad, I'm really, really bad, because I'm bad. The two different sounds. And to transpose these two generations of complete obscurity to each other is a different type of being born again in popular music. So I could say today's songs need a whole new type of interpretation. It's not whether you can sing it. You have to sell the song almost as well as the artist. So, hold on to the night, hold on to the memory. It's certainly different in that interpretation than singing, Swanee, how I love you, how I love you. Two different generations. But I find today's music very exciting. And I can tell you, by hearing Richard Marx's cassette, last year. There are songs, have you heard this? There's a song on that Richard Marx cassette that he hasn't even touched. And I don't know the complete title, but the first word of the song, the first title is called Manhattan Something. That's a great song for Manhattan.
Richard Marx.
Huh? Maybe that's the
Something
one.
like that.
It's on the album, Hold On Through the Night. It's a great song. I love to find songs that I'm not... That's right. It's
You know a
great
good
song.
song to listen to? Do you like Prince?
I have to get it
On
album.
Madonna's new album, Like a Prayer, she's got a cut on there with Prince, and it's called Love Song, and it's a real slow, but it's real good. It's not, it's a good song,
Well, Madonna is a very, very...
I consider her like a video slut, I guess you would call it, because she really just makes money off of her body and her looks and her, more so than, and her dancing too. She is a good dancer, but more of it seems like that than her actual voice.
Well, when she keeps herself, she knows that she's doing her best to keep herself up there, and she's succeeding. And I
Yeah.
think you got to give her credit. I think, and she
Well,
has...
I've heard a lot about her being connected with the mafia too, because she's real Italian.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that she has a couple of good songs there,
Yeah.
including one of the best songs. That rap song she did. What was that?
Mexican, yeah.
Oh, it's La Isla Bonita.
Great song.
Great song.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah.
Great song.
Well, she's got a new one called Spanish Eyes. You probably like that.
Is that the Al Martino hit?
Like a Virgin is Spanish Eyes off of her Like a Virgin album. Her new one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Old Spanish eyes.
Yeah.
La,
Spanish.
la, la, la.
Right.
Just for a snip, you know what I do? Here's that song, Spanish Eyes, was tailor-made from a great artist who died in 1934, way ahead of his prime, at 26 years old, Russ Colombo. Russ Colombo had a sound before Frank Sinatra. Sinatra came out in the late 30s, early 40s. But in 1934, Russ Colombo, may rest in peace, stay with his mother, he would have sounded like this with Spanish Eyes. Oh, Spanish Eyes, your Spanish Eyes, say goodbye. That's cool. That was the sound that was tailor-made for him. Even though he was not alive to hear this, it's funny how songs at different times were so tailor-made. But I think today's music is wonderful, and one day, if I live long enough, I will get a cassette and just I'll have to pick out the hits and play them. What can I say,
Can I ask you what you think about compact discs?
Oh, let's see if he wants me here. Oh, thank you so much. What is your name? I'm sorry.
Phil.
Mr. Phil, thank you so
Yeah,
much. Oh, these circus people are wonderful.
Right.
Thanks, Mr. Phil.
Yeah, just wonder what you thought about the new compact disc revolution, that kind of thing. I'm just curious.
I think I don't know, I'm not too familiar with it, except that I think it's, I don't know, it's another complicated form of a record format again. I mean, I think you still have the problem. Here's what I like best. I like best when they're coming out with a hit, one single compact disc for the hit. They had little cassettes that only played the top hit. They're starting to put them out. I think it bombed. But they had like a record. They tried one-hit cassettes. Well, we can close it.
Like a 12-inch or something?
Who's up there?
You from 3 out of 9?
Are they rehearsing?
I think they might be playing.
Hey, wait, maybe I missed my show.
No, it just now started. He just didn't come out and introduce the guy. I heard him introduce him.
They should come on last.
No, because he just said, here we have one guy from 3 Dog Night, 1 Dog Night, he said. No, they just started just now.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
In fact, because he told me 7:30.
Yeah.
Anyway, but going back to this, so definitely I could honestly say, it's just too bad. Compact disc, I guess the best advantage you could put the hit on whenever you want it.
Yeah.
Just press it to it. Excuse me, what is your name again? Huh? What is your name?
Ed Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, pleasure meeting. I'm trying to. Who's Mr. McLeod and Miss Angel from Rag?
Hi.
The show's just started, right?
Ed, this show just started. That's the first act.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See you on TV all the time.
Oh, thanks.
I got a kick out when you were Johnny Carson.
Oh, God bless him.
How is he? What is
Oh,
he?
he's nice and he keeps to himself. He's very
He
inward.
doesn't have any little party or anything afterwards, does he?
Never went to any of his parties.
Yeah.
But I
did
did
say that's the way it is. When he gets done, he just takes off.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how it is.
Okay, nice to
Mr.
meet you.
Ed, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank
I gotta-
you.
When he gets done, he's got to head for the
Thanks.
airport.
Mr. Ed, thanks. If anyone wants to know, I'll be sitting here in case they need me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks. Wonderful, man. Great. Anyway, we go to the airport. What the flight? Anyway, so I wish I had a hit single. Oh, I'm not going to wait no more. Rolling. Everything goes right when I get home. Cassette, I'm buying the cassette. The only thing is, I have to buy the cassette for $10. I don't care about it. It was $5. Let's say Madonna has a hit like a Virgin. I got to take the cassette and keep pressing the battery to hear that song again. Running out of battery so quick.
So that's
Well,
the
that's
one
the
thing
only
about
way
CD is that you can pop up the tracks.
Yeah, but a bad thing is you can't carry a portable with you unless you carry a Monster. There's no light portable like your cassette player.
Right, exactly.
See?
It's so new still.
Oh, why couldn't they stick with 78s?
So do you still listen to your old 78s on your old Victrolas or anything? Or?
Can I give you a song on this?
Sure.
I'm going to give you a rare 78. I am the only living singer celebrity to ever have 2-cylinder records in the Edison Museum here. Yeah, cylinder records in Bellard, Illinois. Bellard, Illinois, about 100 miles from Chicago. In '77, I made this recording with Mr. Lewis on a 2-minute cylinder. I'll give you a sound here. Byron G. Harlan, the first singer of popular songs on the cylinder recording, along with Mr. Tucker, in 1902, singing this song. Bunker Hill, old Bunker Hill, our history books to tell about the battles by your side when so many heroes fell. A drum and fife was sounded loud last night when all was still. They played my country, 'tis of thee, beside old Bunker Hill.
Is that on the cylinder or is that a 78?
That was a cylinder and a 78 by Mr. Harlan in 1902 when he recorded that on the one-sided, they had one side till 1909, the one-sided Columbia record label. That record, when I got it somewhere in the 60s, was beaten to a pulp, which means that they listened to Byron G. Harlan.
That's great.
And that was a #1 hit for him then, if you could take tabulations just by the way how many people played it. And I don't mind telling you a scoop for your recorder. I found this lovely, beautiful woman last year in Arlington, Texas. Her name is Stephanie. Well, she's not in love with me. That's always the case. Wish I had some beers now. Anyway, but I spoke to her a couple of weeks ago, and I told her what I thought of her, and she was very happy to hear that. But I tell you, I say this with respect because I love my darling wife. She's not here. She knows the problem. The fact is, I'll always remember her and so many others as the years go by this song. Song in 1919 by Mr. Lewis James. And I thank you, Mr. McLeod, for listening to this. Well, let's talk more, and whatever questions you want to ask, please ask anything. I tried to look at the good side of life, to live in the sunshine I've planned. But there are problems that quite puzzle me, some things I can't understand. I can see all the good in the sunshine, so there must be some good in the rain. There is good in each lad, there is no one so bad that they can't do the right thing again. There is good in all hearts filled with gladness, and sometimes it's good just to cry. Good in all things I see, but when you're leaving me, I can see the good in goodbye. I try to learn to live in the sunshine I plan. Some take their songs and their sorrows in a kiss or a dance. But oh my dear, now that we're parted, whenever you leave me, to you, Miss Stephanie, I can see all the good in the sunshine. So there must be some good in the rain. There is good in each lad. There is no one so bad that they can't do the right thing again. There is good in all hearts filled with gladness, and sometimes it's good just to cry. Good in all things I see, but when you're leaving me, I can see the good in goodbye. And to you, Miss Stephanie, good in all things I see, but when you're leaving me, I can see the good in goodbye.
Great. Great.
That was why I got the second verse. That was sung by Mr. Lewis James in 1919 for the Columbia record label, written by Miss Lynn Cowan. These are some of the great romantic songs they've had in those years. Those are some.
That's a great song.
They wrote them. That's how they wrote them then.
Okay, I saw you on the Nashville network, and I was wondering, was that just like?
For a minute.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you want me to roll the window down for you?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'm just going to type this anyway. I can bill it here.
Was it effective?
No, don't worry. So you were on the Nashville network, and they were saying that you had gone country. Was that just like a one-time, a little spur-of-the-moment type of thing for you to try it out whatever?
No.
Or are you totally in the country now? Or
No. Tell the honest truth, I've been doing country music since 1947. You said you got a letter from Eddie Arnold?
Yeah.
I remember, Mr. McLeod, I remember 1947 in WOV in New York, Rosalie Allen, one of the first early country jockeys. I was doing country music then. I remember hearing Mr. Arnold with Roomful of Roses when he first came on the scene. And I was singing like this in 1948. One has my heart, the other has my name. To one I'll be true, that's how my heartache starts. One has brown eyes, the other's eyes are blue. To one I am tied, to the other I am true. One has my love, the other only me. But what good is love to a heart that can't be free? If I go on living my life, I'll remain. The one who has my heart will always have my Well, that's all. Yeah, that's the switches, you know, into country sound.
He's talking up there,
Okay, I was going to ask you, are there any particular country, do you like any of the old country guys, like Jimmy Dean or Ernest Tubb or any of those kind of people?
I've liked him going back. The song you just heard was the sound of a country voice. I recorded country last year in Nashville. It wasn't new to me, only to those who did it. I recorded a song which went something like, someone else is on your mind, it played, you get the record? To see, and you believe you love him more than you love me. I don't aim to change your mind, girl, I won't even try. If you're gonna leave me satisfied. Take me in your arms again and hold me. So, I don't want.
That was on Nashville Network you did that song. Is that a record? Did that get
Yes,
pressed?
I recorded it last year. I forgot the name of the label, but it was recorded with the producer. The producer was Dan Mitchell, who did Alabama.
So was that a single then, or was it an
Yes,
album that you put out?
It was both an album and a single. The album never came out. They released the single. The album's still in the woodworks. However, when they heard it was Tiny Tim, they couldn't believe it. And the sales just dropped. That's right. That's right. They're unbelievable. They see, this is a different faction. In this business, what I do to you privately in the car, what happens to man on the stage, when people come up and say, gee, I didn't know you had that voice. This, when you present the same thing on a disc jockey show, cold on the air, it's a different interpretation with the crowd. You're hitting different moods and different feelings in different times. What goes well here with the low voice may be a shock on the radio to somebody in a little hamlet who only remembers Tickle Through the Tulips.
Right.
So it may be too strong not to buy it. If that other voice is going to hit, it's going to have to be perhaps, who knows, if we know, perhaps with a mass media, with a song as simple as God Bless America.
Yeah.
See, you have to have a wide reaction. So when they heard it was that was the end of that. But there is a record on that album that has never come out yet. And I think if Mr. Stinson, that's the one I broke off with, he never is checked out. But if he releases the double version of Tiger by the Tail, just a stem holding all of it, come on, this. I've got a tiger by the tail, it's plain to see. I won't be through when you get through with me. I'm feeling mighty pale. Looks like I've got a tiger by the tail. I've got a... Now, Sandy's low voice. Tiger, but now, but he's got to start off with the high voice. He may have something on that one. He may have curiosity. I don't know if it could be strong enough to sell the record, but he may have curiosity there. No one knows what's going to sell. Believe it or not, they can put out that Santa Claus with the A's, that might sell.
As a novelty or something,
You know, but they're afraid to put it out because these kids like Santa Claus.
Yeah, they might, some people might get your band name for the rest of your life. You know?
Sure.
I got something I want to ask you. It's some kind of political. I know I don't know.
I'll answer anything you
I
want.
want to know what you think about the recent controversy over flag burning. What's your opinion?
All right. I will stay right here on this. And I think this is right. Absolutely wrong. There is not a single question in my mind that to burn the American flag for any reason is a sacrilege and definitely to be banned. Now, let me tell you why I say this. A lot of people who are for the flag burning were not around on December 7th, 1941. I praise the Lord that I was. I remember coming back from a movie. Since living in New York, you got about 5-hour difference from Pearl Harbor. I saw Tyrone Power in a movie called A Yank in the RAF, may rest in peace. Same with David Niven and the rest of them. And I came back to this apartment at 6 o'clock New York time, and I heard At that time, my parents and I were living in a rooming house, so the telephone was downstairs. But I heard someone scream, "They've attacked Pearl Harbor. We're at war with Japan." A lot of people don't know or recall that if we were completely without defense, we were singing and having a good time, there was a war in Europe, and it didn't affect us. President Roosevelt, who I consider probably the greatest president of our day, was President Roosevelt. I don't care what anyone says, he was a president. May he rest in peace anyway. But I will say this. When we were, the Japanese could have walked into California, but they thought we were prepared. Praise the Lord, they got the wrong information. Otherwise, they would have walked into California. That's how low our defenses were. As it is, they bombed Pearl Harbor, and a lot of Americans don't remember the early days of Bataan in 42. Corregidor fell. So many other places fell. The torches of the Bataan March to our soldiers. I certainly remember that, and what America went, the lives and blood that was spilled, to save our country. I pray Jesus Christ. I pray for the enemy too. I mean, they fought for what they thought was right. But the fact is, I thank Jesus Christ for, we had won this war to keep freedom, and you'd never approve of flag burning. Never. If the Constitution said it's all right to burn the flag, I would change it immediately. Because someone doesn't know anything there. I'd say it's most genuinely humbling. That's number one. Next question.
So that's your opinion on that subject. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't know if you don't have to talk about this if you don't like.
Anything you want.
Okay, it's about Jan.
Sure.
Before you married Jan, was she a fan of yours? Or how did you guys meet?
Good question. I met her December 14th. 1983. See, it was in a club. And I met her. She's a very good-looking girl. She still is. She's about 38 now. She looks like 25. I think she was out for someone with money. She thought I had money. She found out before the marriage, she couldn't believe it. She still went for the fame. She thought after the marriage, when she found out I was telling her the truth, she was hanging on for a lottery ticket. Maybe I'd still make it. She failed on both of these things because her heart was not true. She's still hanging on, hoping something can happen until she finds a guy and can make her break. Her mother left her plenty of money when she died early this year. She may make her break after she settled that. I don't know. It's too bad. But she didn't marry for the truth. So I'm not knocking her. I'd say this to any woman if it turned out to be the same way. Miss Vicky had the same problem. Both Miss Vicky and Miss Jan were told before the marriage in prayer, if you're lying to Jesus Christ, Miss Jan was Jewish, Miss Vicky was not. Both have the same thing where I'm concerned. My mother was a Jew, my father was Catholic, so it don't matter what they are. The fact of the matter is, I said, look, if you're lying to him and you're doing it for your own sake, for your own career, you got a problem. If you're telling the truth and he knows that, then the sky's the limit. And both of them are lying, and Miss Vicky had to suffer her. Well, she's still like a doormat today, and now the same with this one here. I'm saying, what was the question? I don't understand that.
I just wondered if she was a fan of yours.
No, I would say both were not fans. Both.
They didn't support your music at all, or
no? They were both starstruck, and you gotta remember that. But they had what I wanted. They had the looks I wanted. I don't mind giving them if I had the money. Miss Jan, when I could, was getting 10 or 20% or more of my pay when I could give it to her in 84, 85, whatever. Miss Vicky, I had a kid with her.
Yeah, I was just going to
Tulip?
ask you.
Tulip?
how is
18. She's 18.
Yeah. She's 18 now?
Yeah,
she go by the name Tulip?
Yeah, she's with foster parents. She's got a kid already. She's about 2 years old.
Do you communicate with her?
I send her right now. I send her $100 a month. But a miracle happened with her. Right now, she believes in Jesus Christ, Jehovah's Witnesses. So let's hope she's okay. In fact,
Does she have a boy or a girl?
She has a girl.
So your
She's
grandpa.
grandpa, yeah.
Illegitimately, but, you know, she had this. I don't usually do this, but let's see something in here. I don't know if it's here or not, but, you know, there was, I don't know if you put it in here. He might have even put it in, he might have dropped the whole thing. But I had an interview with the Inquirer last week.
Oh, really?
And I just wanted to see,
Well,
I hate to look at it like this so quick, but since you're here, if it's here, well, let's see what it says.
There's a the restaurant and get a copy for myself, too.
yeah.
Well, it may not be here. Then again, you may see it on the cover next week.
What was the scoop? Would they interview you about?
They met me on the tip here on the trip, and they asked me. Now I don't think it's in here. Maybe it still is. I'll try something about Sybil Shepherd in a minute.
Well, yeah, so you could almost see her breasts, huh?
Well, let me tell you about her. No, maybe it's in here. No. I don't think it's. Maybe it's not worth putting in. Maybe I'm not that hot. See.
Oh, so you are, Tiny.
Oh, yeah, nice, thanks. Nope, not on here. Not on this issue. Could be in the next one. Could not be at
I'll be
all.
looking now, I'll tell you that.
So she had a boy?
She had a girl.
She had a girl.
So you're a grandpa, huh?
Yeah, illegitimately, but that's what I am.
Well, why didn't Miss Vicky keep to it?
She was getting into trouble, Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky had a second husband in '79, and they got divorced in '87, and the Chulp was with them most of her teen years growing up, and then Miss Chulp got in trouble in about 1985, and she started breaking away. Miss Vicky gave up on her, and she had to go through homes, and this home and that home.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's tough on her, but praise the Lord, now she's got a good job. She's working for the Teamsters Union in Jersey, and I'm very happy.
I was asking you this earlier, but I would like to have it in print. You used to have a thing where you gave a trophy out every year or more or whatever to what? How'd you?
Everyone has their dream world. You have yours, Miss Angel has hers. We all dream of what we like. To me, every woman, let me tell you something, every young woman can, everyone falls in love, it's a great thrill. I mean, thrills can come no matter how they look. But I dream of a certain type. I can't tell you about it. But the point is, both women I've married, the one I married illegally, that's 3, but I married one illegally.
Give me your autograph, here, Tim.
Surely. What's the full name?
Ed Hamilton.
Thanks.
Like on $10 bill, we don't have them. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
I'll
you.
give that to my nephew.
Oh, great, thanks.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're talking about the trophies?
Still on stage now.
And you're
No, you were talking about your wives. Your
talking about the trophies.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
but I dream of a certain thing, a certain look. Miss Dixie had it, Miss Vicky had it, Miss Jan had it. I married 2 beautiful women, 3 if you want to count the illegal one, who I can't say I got second best. They look as beautiful today in my dreams as they did then. But getting along with them and getting along with me, and I have my faults, very difficult to live with. And what breaks up all romances is tiredness. That's the biggest culprit in all romances. It's like a hit song. No matter who you're in love with, it could be Vanna White, it could be Miss Vicky, it could be Jessica Horn. The time comes after 2 or 3 years, you get tired of each other. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's not money, lack of money, it's not lack of sex. John Holmes is one of the greatest sex men in the history of our century. May he rest in peace, but even he got divorced because you get tired of being with each other. Tiredness brings and breaks all romances. And it is unfortunate, the pressures of marriage, that tiredness is the cross in every marriage. And unless both people are religiously, spiritually strong in Jesus Christ, the marriage is going to break up. That's why when a man came over before with the circus and I said he was that fellow was not made for marriage, say to myself, it's very difficult to stay happily married today.
So that kind of killed the whole thing, any for giving the trophies out, or?
No, I just didn't want to give another one once I got married. Yeah, but we broke up, and I gave one to Miss Dixie, and
82, right?
Yeah, and we broke up. Oh, what violent fights we had. On the 2-3 month engagement, I met her on a boat in terrible. But romance is the most difficult thing. The thing this guy I was talking about is bad. If I can make 2 days on a date with a woman, the marriage, the chances of
Good
success.
chance.
2 days. I can lose a woman quicker
So
than I can.
You can count them.
Very sensitive. Very
do
sensitive.
you enjoy playing your romantic music, like singing romantic songs,
Sure.
crooning and stuff? You get into that a lot, huh?
Oh, it's great books of memories. Going back, the very first song I ever wrote for a celebrity, for anybody, was in '47 to Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh, well, you wrote it too.
A bomb of a song, but it was the first song. You're the only one, the one and only one. You've got talent and you've got charms. All the world just lies in your arms. You're a painted dream that's always right on the beam. And after all is said and done, you'll remain the only one. Because it's a bomb of a song, I'll take it. But the poem is better than the song.
You used to chase her around, didn't you?
15 years old, she was 15. That was
Yeah, I
1947.
remember reading about that.
But here's the poem I wrote for her. You came like a star that shines in the blue. You're like the roses sprinkled with dew. Eyes that gleam like glittering gold, and a heart that's neither harsh nor bold. You're all of nature by itself. Talent and beauty is your wealth. Like an angel from heaven, you're on the beam. I can't believe you're not a dream. So just be good and just be kind, and peace and happiness you will find. Sometimes when your thoughts are free, won't you kindly think of me?
That's great.
That's the only
that is
poem I remember.
beautiful,
Thank you,
yeah,
the Christmas
that is.
blessing, thank you. But it's the only poem I wrote also in '47. It never wrote a better one than that. And I did get a letter from her thanking me. I don't know if you know, just for your listeners and readers, Mr. McLeod, she wrote a book when she was 12, and it was called Nibbles and Me. She had a chipmunk called Nibbles. And I'm sure if you ever met her and told her that, at the right mood, she'd forget. Just take a look at her when you tell her that. If she says, who cares for Tiny Tim? Just tell her that I read a book called Nibbles and Me, and she'll pause for a minute.
I don't think that I've ever run into her at the market.
No, you never know. You never know.
Well, can't think of a whole lot more, really. Maybe I can ask you about the tour you're on now. Are you enjoying the tour that you're on now? When did it start and when will it end?
As long as they like me, well, we've got the roughest trips coming up. It ends September 17th.
And when did you guys first go on the road for this tour?
June 17th. Oh, we have some days off, but I just saw the schedule. After tomorrow, we're on the Battle of the Bulge. From here till probably about the 7th of August, we have 600-mile trips almost every day, plus one trip by plane to Minot, South Dakota. So it's going to really be rough. This is we have the bunks in the bed. And I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to dump a lot of things because I have to travel light. There's an art to travel light, and it's got to be tough. But I'm not complaining. It pays the rent for a few months, and but no, I really live. It's strange. Here I mentioned Jesus Christ, religion, and all that. And on the other hand, I always look for a classic to dream about again. I may only find one or two a year. I found one this year in Australia, of all places. You never know what they pop up. She just saw my show at 2 in the morning. She came up and she put herself right next to me. It was like heaven sent. And for 1 minute, and she said she'd meet me the next day. She never showed up. And then I put an ad in the paper, "Where is Miss Bronwyn?" I only had one more week to go. She never showed up, but it was just as right, just as well. But I got a song here that Rudy Valley sang, which sums it all up. In 1933 sang it. When I look in the book of my memories. I can see you and me as we used to be. There's a place that I used to learn to love a lot, where you kissed me and whispered you'd forget me not. I wonder why your goodbye meant forever, dear. Wasn't our love as free as the sea? Where you are, there you are, any place that I look, in the book of my memories. When I look in the book of my memories, I can see you and me as we used to be. There's a place that I used to learn to love a lot, where you kissed me and whispered you'd forget me not. I wonder why your goodbye meant forever, dear. Wasn't our love as free as the sea? Where you are, there you are, any place that I look, in the book of my memories.
Hey, thanks a lot. Great. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great.
God, the way you hit those notes is perfect.
I tell you, praise God, praise God for this lesson, but thank Jesus Christ for everything. I pray it really, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But this,
That sounded good.
oh, any more questions?
One more. What do you think of Peoria? Now, you haven't seen a whole lot of it,
It's a
but
nice little town, and every town can have its moments. Just life in itself, being here, a day of freedom. It may not be New York. You may not get to the Copa, when you want to, but you still have your happiness. If you find the one you love, any place can be heaven, believe me. And I always look for that classic dream, the one you have in your paper, in the ray. That I don't know who drew that, but he drew a great idea.
that was drawn by Russ Richardson. I'll tell him that.
Well, Mr. Richardson has very excellent painting. And that's almost like the Rome Paradise, where it's at. There's so many I've seen through the years. In the book of my memories, I always fall in love with all of them. Names you don't know, like Miss Cleo, Miss Clarkey, Miss Audrey Dash, Lila Cordian, Ann Hess, Miss Dixie, of course, Catherine James. Oh, what a story about her. She was, no one was in love with her. Eric Clapton.
Oh, yeah.
Was a cream.
Oh,
He met her in 1967.
Not the one that George Harrison was married to, is it?
No. I hope she's still alive. I met her in 67. That was a classic gem. Boy, was she beautiful.
You know what I wanted to ask you? You are what you eat.